Okay, number two, I actually left this individual storage unit and started walking towards the exit. But then I was like, let me do another one because I want to be productive. I'm currently looking for work. Okay. I think all of humanity should surrender their nation states and move to the tropics. And then we can all rub each other's backs and we can manifest the Wu Wei lazy river. That's, we'd all be so healthy that you would be robbing the world if you didn't pee in it. That's how healthy we'd be. So, we'd live off of fruit trees. We wouldn't develop, we wouldn't be pouring concrete. I think we can actually ask the trees through bioelectric communication to grow into tree houses. And if we tend to the soil right, it'll have the nutrition to do it really fast. We can do it really fast in a month, however fast we want to do it. It just needs the nutrition and the, electrical. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm a wizard. There's a difference. Scientists are addicted to the problem. It's how they know themselves. So the rigor oftentimes comes with grueling, a non-fun experience of discipline. And I don't even consider that discipline because I believe our internal worlds, our convictions, our desires, our endocrine systems. I think joy is the highest, is the deepest, is the truest discipline. Anyways, and you're taking responsibility. I do believe in personal responsibility, but I think what we consider to be personal responsibility is a fake version of it, a performative version of it, and you're taking real, genuine, actual responsibility that's designated for you if it brings you joy to acknowledge that responsibility and to participate in that responsibility and live in that responsibility. Yeah. Life gets hard when you live in cold climates. And I'm not saying humanity shouldn't have a relationship with the cold climates, but that I don't know, I think something traumatic happened to us. And I don't like the idea of trauma. I don't like the idea of pain, suffering, or victimhood because by definition they're unwanted, and so I don't want to admit them. Although I do want to be relevant, and I know we're socialized to you can take off of work once you're sick. That's how we're socialized, right? In order to be relevant, you must first experience pain. You must first be in pain. You must first be suffering. You must first be a victim, and then you're afforded relevance. That's how we live. So I want to be relevant without suffering, pain, or victimhood. So I'll never surrender anyone I love to victimhood because I can't love them and surrender them to victimhood simultaneously, right? Love without power is anemic and sentimental, Martin Luther King Jr., except I'd argue that real sentiment is empowered, and that's how you know it's real sentiment. If it's not empowered, it's just performative. We all look at our devices and we lament. Not all of us. I did, though. I would look at my device and I would cry out at the injustice I'd see, and I cared enough to perform how much I cared, but I didn't care enough to make it to where it wasn't happening. And that's just so disgusting. I grew up where one of my parents was very much, that's all they had to offer me was sentiment. And so like now I'm one of the people who's my very least preferred love language, and I don't even really consider it love. Is words of affirmation. Fuck that. That's all I get is words of affirmation. I want empowerment. And I talk a lot, but like I want to act a lot. Ooh, yeah. Instead of talking, maybe I should do shit. This is closer. I'm posting online. I noticed how much of my life is lived through words. I mean, language can act as like an opportunity for connection. I don't know. I feel like I want to be so heart-centered that if I do verbalize, it's like cooing affectionately in an empowered sense. I get the sense that my relationship with my voice might not be that yet. What do I do? I know what I want to do. I know. I'm happy my heart beats. And it's so sentimental. And I mean that in the empowered sense of the word. My heart is very sentimental. It puts the world in order. Just like everything else that exists does. Yeah. Today I only ate raw fruits and veggies. Yeah, I think what we call pain, suffering, and victimhood, that intensity, is actually conviction. And the reason why we don't opt out of that intensity is because opting out of it would be the closest thing to pain, suffering, and victimhood. Pain, suffering, and victimhood does not exist. And I know how much of a nice guy I'd be if I said they do exist, but I wouldn't be empowered. And that's like the resentment towards niceness, right? Niceness. It's not like empowered enough to be kind. And I'd argue like niceness isn't, like we're talking about like agreeableness, but even then like genuine agreeableness and genuine niceness is empowered. And so like we're like attributing a like rancidness towards the niceness, like past ripe, return to the soil, acknowledge it for what it is. The sentiment that's real is empowered. The rest needs to turn into fertilizer. All of humanity moves to the tropics. Humanity's not that big. It's pretty big, but like all of humanity can fit in Texas. All of humanity can fit in Dallas. Like if we had the like density of Tokyo, which is like the opposite of what I want. I do not want to develop. But I'm saying like if we like move to certain, like the equator, closer to the equator, and I know some of us can't handle that. Not before detox, because the sun will like antagonize the bad patterns that live in your skin, right? Bad patterns. I don't believe in bad. Polarity exists, but duality appears to exist, so we can harvest the good I do believe in good. See, get it? So like duality appears to exist so that we can harvest the good and acknowledge that half of it doesn't exist. Yeah. What the fuck am I talking about? I should start a podcast, but like unironically. I like this storage unit because it's like a Faraday cage. Like there's no signal in here. Anyways, I think the agricultural revolution was a mistake, and we should have just stayed foragers. Just eat from fruit trees. And I think Saturn was our primary sun, and then it electrically discharged. It used to be a brown dwarf star. It electrically discharged and scarred the earth and, you know, caused a flood and, you know, like changed, our climate changed, and, you know, humanity fragmented. And I guess I'll end it there. I think that's where those religious stories come from. I think they might be real, and I think that's where Saturn worship comes from. Electric universe model, if you want to look into it, like Thunderbolts Project, Alchemical Science on YouTube. Yeah, we used to be an advanced civilization. When everything's ether, like you're like telekinetically informed. You can like remote view anywhere because you are, all is mind, right? Saturn's mind, the clouds are mind, soil's mind. We're literally soil and water electromagnetically animated. All is mind. And you know, there's that expression like you have to lose yourself in order to find yourself. So maybe that was the point. I like to think the only point is like love and joy. Anyways, experiential. I have a lot I want to say, so I'll be back.